You ever look back in your memory and had this euphoric, nostalgic feeling for a time that once was? That nostalgia from the past where you wish that things were how it used to be. You could have that right now if you just slow things down. Just slow your life down. Take detail of everything. Look at things up close. Feel the textures of life and look at the colors. Take it all in, because we have a pinpoint attention. And we might miss a lot of details in the moment when we're in the moment. I've been studying a lot of Carl Jung's work, and the Red Book is one of those books that I have to put down from time to time because it just hurts my head. Every time I think about it, I'm like, okay, this concept, we got to digest this piece by piece. This is not a one-course meal. We gotta piece this up. Jung had this interesting perspective on elementary archetypes of the unconscious mind. The experiences that come through your nervous system are assimilated through these psychological archetypes. This circle represents your soul, okay? Just as a metaphor, it's not your actual soul. This represents your soul. This center point represents your ego. And this line represents the bandwidth of consciousness. This upper part is your conscious mind. This lower part is your subconscious mind. Within Hinduism, the self is called the Atman. And to represent the self, this wouldn't be a false representation because it's raw consciousness. There's no boundaries to it. But Jung is talking about consciousness that's held within a specific location, which is your body. And this would represent that location. Consciousness is conditioned into action by the body that they're in. Whether you're young, you're old, you're male, you're female, you're tall, you're short. Those are the bounds of your experience that's represented by the circle. The center right here is your ego. And I want you to imagine this as an iris, like your eye, right? And this is an eye, right? You see how the paper is square? This represents our perception. Jung says that our perception is not in alignment with that of nature, with things that are natural, that we're always seeing things in squares and rectangles. Even the screens that we watch things on, just look at your phone, it's a whole rectangle. Maybe that's why it feels so good to go in nature, because there's less edges. It's more round and abstract. What most people do is they take their conscious mind, they take their ego, and they tell themselves how square their subconscious should be, limiting their imagination. What you should do instead is work with the unconscious mind so that you can bring it to the conditions of the environment that your ego constructed. Mythology is the language of one speaking to one's own subconscious. Instead of being bewildered by your own mind, develop a connection with it through your imagination. My connection with my subconscious, the way how I view it is like, you ever seen the Transformers with Shia LaBeouf? In the beginning, Bumblebee, he couldn't speak with his voice, so he had to use radio stations to stitch together a sentence.
Can you talk?
XM satellite radio.
Digital cable brings you
Broadcasting system. So you talk through the radio?
Actually, you do. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
That's how I communicate with my subconscious. It's like there's different thoughts that pop up of different memories that stitch together a feeling or communicate a thought. My mythos is life is a movie. And when you die, everyone who played in your movie is going to be there. Even if they didn't die at the time that you died too, time is irrelevant past this. You're never really alone because everyone will see your movie, or everyone is seeing your movie right now. I think everything around us is conscious. All the atoms, protons, neutrons, everything has consciousness. I don't care what you think, as long as you're thinking.
The more, therefore, you relinquish power, trust others, the more powerful you become. But in such a way that instead of having to lie awake nights, controlling everything, you do it beautifully by trusting the job to everyone else, and they carry it on for you. You can go to sleep at night and trust your nervous system to wake you up in the morning. You can even tell it, I want to wake up at 6 o'clock, and it'll wake you up just like an alarm clock. This seems a sort of paradox to say this, but the principle of unity, of coming to a sense of oneness with the whole of the rest of the universe, is not to try to obtain power over the rest of the universe. That will only disturb it and antagonize it and make it seem less one with you than ever. The way to become one with the universe is to trust it.